Welcome to Informatica support videos. My name is Mohammed Tanveer. In this video, I will talk about configuring and executing scenarios. To begin with, we will review our demo on Log Express Server and agent installation. This link to the video provides you with in-depth detail. We will configure an Informatica 9 product and run scenarios to collect relevant logs. We will also look into managing users. Log Express consists of a server and an agent. Before configuring a product, we need to be sure that the Log Express server is up and running and the agent is also available. Let's verify the same. I'm logged into the Informatica Log Express server and I see the agents available. Log Express needs to be installed on every node of the domain. Every running agent requires a product configuration. By configuring the product, you can run various scenarios like session crash, session hang, integration service crash, data quality profile crash, etc. Also, there is a generic scenario which can be used just to collect the logs from various services. Let's configure a product and run scenarios. Before we proceed with the configuration of the product, I would like to show that I'm logged in as an administrator and I have already configured my support credentials for this administrator user. However, I will introduce the user configuration during the end of the demo. Let's now select the agent for the product to be configured, and from the Actions drop-down, I will select Configure Product. Select Informatica from the drop-down and hit on Next. This should pre-populate most of the domain details. However, let's complete the configuration. And test. Let's hit on Next. Here, all the repository services and the model repository services are listed on the left side of the pane. Let's go ahead and configure the same. Let's test and hit on Save. This completes the product configuration and needs to be repeated for every agent that we have. Let's now run a Power Center session crash scenario. From the Actions drop-down, I will select Run Power Center Scenarios and select Session Crash. Select repository and the integration service where the session crash is noticed. The core file directory is the location where the session dumps the core on Unix platforms. Provide the data range. This range is used for collecting logs from domain, services, and the file system. Let's limit the range reasonably less, as the logs gathered might be really huge. Let's hit on Next. This screen fetches all the sessions that have failed or aborted during the range that we selected in the previous screen. If you find a long list of sessions, use Autofilters option here to narrow down the list. Let's select this and hit on Next. We can also select Stack Trace and select core file associated with the session. For now, let me hit on Run. During this session crash scenario, Informatica support requests for session logs, workflow export, integration service log, stack trace, and all that we see on this page. Usually there is a lot of manual effort in gathering these different sets of diagnostic data. Collecting them at once during SR creation process would enable support engineers to work effectively towards problem isolation on the service requests immediately. When the execution is completed, the summary shows the logs that were collected during this process. This can be downloaded to your desktop for reviewing. Also, compressed logs can be sent to tsftp.informatica.com via send to support. Let's download and look into the details. Save. Here, we see the workflow export, session log, integration service logs, and all the relevant logs that were collected. Let's say OK. Let's visit the scenario output, and these compressed files or the logs that were generated earlier are available in this section. You can select a log and send it to support. You may have to provide a folder name or an SR number. A directory is created with that name, and then files are uploaded into that area. Once the file is uploaded, we get its location, and we can provide the same location within our service requests so that the support engineer can access it for debugging purposes. And we have our location. Similarly, you can run scenarios as required and provide diagnostic data to Informatica support. You can use data quality scenarios if you may encounter situations where data quality mapping crashes or hangs, or when a data quality profile crashes or hangs. And you may aggregate the logs accordingly. We also have some generic scenarios enclosed within LogExpress. We can take a backup of the domain, repository inconsistencies, or just provide all the logs for generic troubleshooting purposes. Here are the list of scenarios that are available in version 1.0 for Power Center, data quality, and some generic scenarios. LogExpress currently provides a basic user management option. Administrator user is the default user and cannot be deleted. However, the default password for the user can be changed. Also, a native administrator, you can create various other native users in the system. Let's create a user. To add a user, let's click on Manage Users, hit on Add. Here, we have the flexibility of providing the MySupport credentials for this specific user. And hit on Save. Let's now log off and log in with the user that we just created. Let's log in with the user we just created. You can edit the user credentials and add MySupport credentials using the Manage User option. This user can run all the necessary scenarios and upload to his home directory within the TSFTP So if you are working on multiple projects or SRs, you can manage diagnostic data collection accordingly. Please reach us out at mysupport@informatica.com or twitter.com/infosupport with your feedback and suggestions. Thank you for watching.